Good evening. We start with some cheerful news. The arrival of a new British comedy, Soft Top Hard Shoulder, written by and starring local hero Peter Capaldi. He plays a Scot trying to eke out a living in England. Ordered back home on pain of disinheritance, Capaldi embarks on a manic drive from London to Glasgow. On the way, he's both stressed out and redeemed by hitchhiker Elaine Collins. Soft Top is unusual on 3 counts. It's British, it's a comedy that actually makes you laugh, and it's a road movie, a genre usually associated with America, where the restless natives have a lot more space in which to zoom around. But Soft Top is only the latest in a surprisingly long line of British road movies. Moving Pictures sent me on a studio journey from London to Glasgow to muse on this neglected genre. Big screen teeth and smiles. Say British road movie to a buff, and they'll say summer holiday, or just hum the tune. Of course, the road isn't strictly British since it leads to Paris and Athens. Guess they needed a bigger road. What was the first British road movie? Must be Hitchcock.
How far is it to Inverary?
40 miles.
Will you keep quiet?
Sorry?
We'll be there in less than 2 hours, miss.
2 hours? Do you think I'm going to spend half the night with you all?
Looks like it.
Suppose it's really a train and road movie, but still Hitchcock's the spiritual father. Showed British roads can have plenty of atmosphere. Of course, to self-flagellating British filmmakers, the very idea of making a road movie in this country is a self-deflating joke.
You know, if this was America, we could just take off from one coast and not make the other for a fortnight. Great deserts, mountain ranges, lands of adventure and mystery. Instead of which we could make the east coast of England by morning if we wanted to. But even in this thing, this bloody country's too small, you know.
Well, maybe we should zigzag a little bit, huh? Kill a little time.
What do you reckon then? Zig north or zag east?
I don't think the idea's so funny. Lots of Brit films have hit the road. Different from American roads, but just as interesting. For me, even more interesting. Of course, the most famous sets the buff's teeth on edge. Too clean, twee, and generally middle class. Jolly fun and awfully good taste. Even if a blacklisted American musician did play harmonica on the soundtrack.
Push up, come on, faster! Faster, come on, faster! Faster, madam, faster! Come on, faster! Push, madam, push! Well done!
Flash forward a couple of decades, and you get Chris Pettit's Continental Drift. Landscape is English, but the vision is European black and white alienation.
Bastard! 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 Bastard!
And you can have blood and guts adventures even on a narrow road. Maybe it took American Cy Enfield to prove the point. Move to the swinging 60s, and what a change. Suddenly, the road is full of free love, sexual politics, and Marianne Faithfull on a throbbing motorcycle.
My black devil, you make love beautifully. Like my red devil, Daniel. You're his punts. This be the horse should sue me in the hands of our client. Take me to him, my black devil.
Oh, yeah. What about John Borman and Peter Nichols, sending Dave Clark on a jaunt that becomes a nightmare? They must have been told to come up with a kind of Hard Day's Night 2 for the Dave Clark 5. But the despair and the surrealism, that's much closer to Ingmar Bergman than Richard Lester. I wonder what a 90s British road movie will be like. There's got to be at least one under some filmmaker's bonnet. Hey, who's that hitching in the rain? Hey, where you going?
Glasgow.
Yeah, it's okay. You're not Peter Capaldi, are you?
Yeah.
It's incredible. I just saw your film the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, this is great. So I actually have a chance to ask the filmmaker the first question that popped into my head, actually, which is, which comes first, the road or the people?
Well, in this instance, it was the road.
Really? Which road is it?
Well, it's the road to Scotland, you see?
Yeah.
Because I think if you're Scottish, the M1, the M6, and the road up to Glasgow, there's something very special to it because it's the road home, you see.
Let's see, tar! Come on, rock and roll! Yeah! Yes!
Is there something innately funny about the British, any kind of British person trying to do a road movie?
Oh, yeah, I think so, because it inhabits that area of people wishing they were American, really.
Yes.
You know, because I suppose it's a genre that belongs to them. You kind of wish you were there in Nevada or you had those huge roads, but you're not.
I see you, big buddy. Kindred spirit. 10-4.
But what you can do is respond to the American road movie within the very small genre of the British road movie, which is to say there will be an element of melancholy involved with it because you're not in America. I mean, even like the little car we use in our film is a Triumph Herald, which to me is a beautiful example of the British attempt to be as glamorous as the Americans, but not really having the guts to go all the way. It's got these little wings at the back, which are very sweet and rather sad, that are saying, I really want to be a Cadillac, but I'm a bit shy, you know, because I'm in Britain. And I think that's a really nice sort of area to explore.
Let's get out of this town.
Road movies are brilliant because structurally they just offer so much scope. Although I must tell you, it's a huge difficulty getting people out of the car. I mean, because if you have people on the road, you're doing a 400-mile journey, they're in the car most of the time, which is why road movies are always in soft-top cars. You know, so you can get much better lighting because you can bring the top down. But all the time you've got to get this instant to get them out of the car so that the audience can see some interesting landscape or meet some other interesting characters. You can't just have them sitting there for hours like that. And there's an incredible variety on that road. I mean, the whole range of accents, the different kind of bands that you go through in the country are extraordinary if you just open your eyes to them. It always amazed me when you could travel for 2 hours out of London and say, stop at Birmingham, and people spoke in a completely different way.
Mr. Young! Mr. Young!
Is there any problem, Nancy?
This man is unhappy about our prices.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Our prices are prominently displayed here, you know. It's the policy here at Wheelie Travellers. And you won't find better value, you know. Would you like to speak to the manager?
No. He's probably having his rusks right now. And similarly, when we got to Scotland, I love the whole kind of, the idea of sort of John Laurie-type characters, you know, with great roving wild eyes and sort of dark farmhouses. So I was delighted to exploit those cliches.
Bed and board is £4.10.
50p.
Where?
No, 10 shillings is 50 pence.
Aye.
Where do the characters come from?
Well, the characters really came from, well, one of them is sort of semi-autobiographical because he's an Italian Scot like myself. And the other one, Yvonne.
Is it your joke?
I wanted to write a woman's character that wasn't one of those wisecracking, clever Glaswegian girls, this rather kind of cheeky persona. I wanted to write something that was really a completely different rhythm, which was rather odd.
Just stick a pen in it when you're turning over and you're off.
Thank you.
My dad used to have one.
Thanks very much.
Were you very aware of the moment when the English road kind of becomes the Scottish road?
Yeah, definitely. But you can.
And how did you feel that? How did you kind of convey it when you were writing it?
Well, it's quite easy to do because as soon as you arrive in Scotland, the motorway stops. I mean, that's the fact. It just becomes a sort of two-lane, rather dangerous road. You go, oh, I'm in Scotland.
Bastard! That is it! That is it! You're a dumb fun low, son! You're a dumb fun low!
Soft Top took to the road yesterday. Bon voyage. And the next time you hear a buff sneering at the very idea of a British road movie, remind them that pictures like Hell Drivers and Catch Us If You Can prove that there are no small roads, only small filmmakers.